Welcome to 171. Are you wasting your time? Are you wasting your potential? Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome, everyone, and especially welcome all the workers and foremen out there. This is the Saturday episode where we cover items that are specific to helping craft not only be respected, but take their next step wherever they want to go. And so we're going to be talking today about wasting our time and wasting our potential by not investing in our most important asset, which is our minds, which is your mind. And so I've covered topics like this before, but today's is just a little bit different. I'm going to cover it from a different angle, and I think it's important enough that it bears just a little bit of repeating, but the content's going to be wonderful. On we go. So first of all, I want to tell you about a little poem. I've been wanting to mention this poem for quite some time and explain what it means to me, so here you go. It's called The Bridgebuilder by Will Allen Dromgoole. An old man going a lone highway came at the evening cold and gray to a chasm vast and deep and wide, through which was flowing a sullen tide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. The sullen stream had no fear for him, but he turned when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. Old man, said a fellow pilgrim near, you are wasting your strength with building here. The journey will end with the ending day. You never again will pass this way. You've crossed the chasm deep and wide. Why build this bridge at evening tide? The builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I've come, he said, there followed after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm that has been naught to me, to that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I am building this bridge for him. I've always really loved and appreciated this poem because it communicates the need for us to help those who are coming behind us. And coming behind us doesn't mean anything negative. It doesn't presuppose a state of hierarchy. It doesn't presuppose, being better than somebody else. All it means is that somebody's been here before. And my point is that in these podcasts or in training, or when you have a mentor, or when you're doing schooling, or any opportunity that you have to progress and learn from somebody else who's already crossed the chasm, that's an opportunity to really learn from wisdom and not sad experience. And so there's two things here. If you are experienced in this industry and have taken it to the next level, help other people by sharing. And if you're listening to these podcasts, or if you're a worker coming up and you want to take your next step, then listen for the intent of learning and going forward, because we're all building bridges for each other to make it farther, closer to home where we want to be. And so the podcast today is going to talk about some lessons learned that I've learned, and they're not judgmental. They're not me looking down on you. They're just really cold, hard facts about life and things that I think that will really benefit you. So stay with us today for the content. But first, a couple of things. So I always like to talk about, real quick, what am I excited about? So I go full-time for Elevate Construction on January 1st. So that's next Friday. I'm really excited about that. So I will no longer be a director. I will no longer work for a construction company. And if I get my way, that means if I make a go of it, which I think will work, I'll never work for somebody ever again. My desire would be to be an entrepreneur, be my own boss from here to eternity. So the only two people I like being my boss are God and my wife. Everybody else, I'd rather just partner with and be a good team with, but I absolutely do not like having bosses. So anyway, but unless you hired me as a consultant, if you do that, I absolutely love working for customers and delighting people with a remarkable experience. So I'm excited about that. Please pray for me, wish me luck as we head down this journey of making sure that there's plenty of content, resources, and opportunities for everyone in construction, and that I'm going to help in any way I can. here's a bit of positive feedback that I really appreciated. I want to mention it here. And he says, man, your podcasts have me fired up about changing my ways. I just listened to episode 10 about worker huddles. We've been doing daily huddles with our site foreman for about 6 months, and they've been a game changer, but have kind of gotten boring and monotonous. But I'm fired up about trying the worker huddles. Any chance you can shoot me over your agenda and some tips and tricks you have for them? Thanks in advance for your help. And so I will very much get on this and email this back or send this information back. Again, these agendas are on the website, on the blog. You can also email me directly at jason.s@elevateconstructionist, and I can give them to you. The main thing that we need to focus on in the morning huddles is continuous improvement. There's two parts to this. One is if they're just a little bit boring, I don't think we need to really get good at running remarkable meetings, but part of the boringness could be that it creates a certain amount of stability that kind of makes it feel like it's boring, but all it means is it's effective. And I've said this before, but there have been project superintendents that say, well, we're going to stop doing the huddles because there's really no reason to continue with them because there's not much to cover. They seem kind of boring. And then they'll stop doing the huddles. And then in a couple of weeks, they report that things have descended back into chaos, which is more interesting, but it's not respectful and it's not where we want to be, right? So two things. Learning from death by meeting how to make them more remarkable. Also, somebody that I work with a lot is a man named Spencer Easton. He is amazing. If you need any tips, we can get those from him as well. But the other thing is a certain amount of those meetings will be just a skinch consistent. Let me use the word consistent because it's creating a certain amount of stability that's good for you and the rest of the team. So I will get that information back to you. Thank you for you who sent this feedback. So how is the industry changing? Well, I've mentioned this before, maybe. It's hard for me to remember because we have 171 podcasts now, but you won't survive unless you have a strategic advantage. Meaning, in construction nowadays, even as lean and integration and these other things scale, even to the central part of the United States and up north, you're not going to be able to survive unless you know IPD techniques, unless you know how to run a lean project, lean pre-construction, unless you have some of these skills that will give you an advantage. And so that is how the industry is changing. And so I would give just a caution to people to make sure that you're out there learning and doing everything that you can. So here's some conflict for you. You're not investing in yourself. And this is for the workers and the foremen. And this is some tough love for me because I saw this really neat LinkedIn post, and it was titled Wasting versus Investing Time. And this was a little post that said, wasting time watching too much TV. Number 2, playing video games. Number 3, complaining. Number 4, comparing yourself to others. Number 5, procrastinating. And then it said investing time. Number 1, watching courses. Number 2, networking with others. Number 3, learning new skills. Number 4, working on your side hustle. Number 5, going to the gym. And then it says at the bottom, we all get the same amount of hours each day, and how you spend yours will determine how your future is going to look like. So, not the best grammar there, but it was a cute little post, and I really, really do believe that. Everyone that I see that is spending most of the time in the first, wasting time category, they're not going where they want to go. And the investing time people that are watching courses and networking and learning skills and working on their business and going to the gym and doing these things, putting in the time, putting in the work, putting in the grind, they're out there not only being successful for themselves, but they're also giving. They're being bridge builders. And I just want to say, it depends on what you believe, what your philosophy is, but are we going to be like normal cattle and just be here to be milked and eat hay and enjoy the sunlight? Or are we going to be creators, gods with a lowercase g out here in the world, creating and developing and nurturing and loving and moving things forward and organizing, right? So we can either choose to be an animal or a creator, an animal or a creator. If we're animals, then we're just always looking for pleasure. If we're creators, then we're looking for opportunity. And if you've ever heard the definition of hedonism, it's the self-indulgent pursuit of pleasure as a way of life. And there's so many of us that were trained to do that. Even the American dream is, go, get a decent job, plug in, maybe go to college, maybe not, go get this decent house, car, and then stagnate, right? And it's like, wait a minute, guys, that's not the American dream. The American dream should be working your way up, pulling yourself up from your bootstraps, getting as much education as possible, helping out other people, and being the most affluent country in the world, but using that responsibility and that blessing to benefit everybody else in the world, right? So if we as Americans just become hedonistic cattle and we're here just for the entertainment, then what does that say about us? That what that eventually says is that we can be treated like cattle and lose our freedom. But if we invest our time and create and look for other opportunities and take some risks and help other people and put it all on the line and live to our fullest potential, then we are, gods in the making with a lowercase g. I mean, it's just, that's really the choice as I see it. Somebody may see that wrong. Now, I don't, think that it's evil to go have fun and do some things. That's not what I'm saying. Like, I go out on the boat in the summer and here in Phoenix, like once or twice a week, right? I'll go have fun with the kids. We'll do different things. I just had a bunch of food for Christmas. Like, I enjoy the comforts of life. My point is that we should have a balance. My point is that we shouldn't live in hedonism, which is the self-indulgent pursuit of pleasure as a way of life. We have to have some fun things, and we have to have a whole lot of great things that are feeding our minds and investing in our minds. So let me take you through just a couple of other things here, just as a high level. So what are some of the other time wasters? So negative news media, too much of it. Stupid books that don't educate your mind or take us into down a good path, right? Bad friends that are bad influences, even if they're just mediocre. People who drag you down, who are negative, who take you away from having a fulfilled and happy life. Abusive family members, illegal drugs, too much alcohol, too much TV. Again, being negative. I think I maybe wrote that twice, but being negative, like it's just such a waste of time. So my request is, please develop a morning routine. Please start going on a date night every week. Please stop watching too much TV. Please start reading books. Please start listening to podcasts. Please start thinking about that next training you're going to do. Please start your next business. Please serve somebody. Please be active in church. Please do those things that will allow you to be happy and to sharpen the saw, sharpen the axe. Because, again, like I've said before, the world will pay you what it thinks you're worth. And what you're worth, obviously you're of infinite worth to God, but what you are worth on the earth is what you have trained your mind to do and the investment that you've given into your mind. And so what I want is for this podcast to be short and simple and sweet for any of our craft workers out there for this purpose. Somebody asked me the other day, well, how do you get somebody that didn't go to college to want more? And my answer is that we have to create a disconnect. We have to create dissonance. And dissonance is a tension or a clash resulting from the combination of two disharmonious and unsuitable elements or ideas. So the dissonance or the gap that I am creating for you is this. That society has told you, okay, you didn't go to college, you don't have technical training, you're in a trade, right? And that you can't go be vice president, or you can't go be a director, or you can't go be a business owner, or you can't go be a general superintendent, or you can't. And the way they convince you of that is they say, well, if you do this, you'll get enough money, and oh, by the way, spend all of that money so that you don't have any savings to do anything with, and just watch TV and smoke cigarettes and, drink a bunch of alcohol and play video games and make your family mad, get that divorce so we can reduce that much more money and force you to continue working in your trade. These are all lies. The truth is that you, and this is bold, but I'm going to say it, you can progress in construction just as easily as somebody who's gone to school if you put in the work, if you have that grind, if you learn interpersonal skills, if you're responsible, if you're honest, if. But if you do these things and you start working, you start reading good books, you start listening to good podcasts, if you intake good things, you start reading your scriptures, you start reading any other religious text that you're into or meditating or whatever, all of these good things that you pull into your mind, will make for a remarkable life and will propel you to where you can go do anything that you want. And so when that person said, how do you convince people that they can do this and become who they want to be? I teach people to be discontent with sitting on the couch and watching TV and playing video games. I'm telling you, that is a dirty and disgusting lifestyle if you do it too much. A happy, wonderful, beautiful, enlightened, rich way of life is for you to get out there, get that education, take that next step, and to create things and create a remarkable, beautiful home, a remarkable, beautiful family, serve people, elevate them. That's the kind of life that you want. And I might sound a little bit judgmental about some of these other things, but like I said, news media, stupid books, bad friends, people that drag you down, abusive family members, illegal drugs, too much alcohol, too much TV, video games, being negative, wasting time, sitting on the couch, being lazy, just going out all the time and being at leisure play. Like that's not a happy lifestyle. And even if you think you're happy, you're not happy. If you have some of those things, like recreation, a drink every now and then, a little bit of TV here and there, every now and then an entertaining book or something like that, mixed in with your hard work, your business, your studying, your self-improvement, your training, all of this other discipline, serving your wife, serving your children, saying hi to your extended family, calling your mom, these things, a mix, a blend is going to be a good thing, especially if it's heavy on the development side. And that development side will get you to your next promotion. Because right now, if you're a worker or a foreman listening to me right now, in a very short amount of time, you could be a field engineer. In a very short amount of years, you could be a superintendent. Very short amount of years, you could go into survey. You could go into building information modeling. You could go into sales. You could go into pre-construction. You could go do something out of construction. You can go wherever you want. You don't have to settle for less just because you have that $35 an hour job that pays you so much that you don't want to take a step back and then just be stuck there for the rest of your life. Now, if you want to go do that job and be the best there is, still do what I'm saying, because you'll get paid more and more within that position if you do what I'm saying. So please develop a morning routine. Read your religious texts. Make sure that you're reading. Go on date night with your spouse. Stop watching too much TV. Read books. Start listening to podcasts. Take that next training and go serve and look outside of yourself to be as happy as you possibly can be. And I want you, when you're going through any of these boot camps or trainings or listening to this podcast, to have dissonance, a disconnect, a gap, so that you'll want more. And so here are my top 5, the top 5 things, and I've mentioned these already, but here are my top 5. Start reading scriptures or other religious texts every day. Start reading books that will improve your mind. Stop the negative media, including TV and video games. Start going on date night with your wife and set goals for what you would like to be in the future and work towards that and grind. And I want to just give you a little song. So in the Christmas holidays, I've heard this song, Glorious, and I'll put it in the podcast notes if you want it. But it's sung by a beautiful choir, and the words, and it's called Glorious, originally by Stephanie Maybe. But here are the words. There are times when you might feel aimless and can't see the places where you belong, but you will find that there is a purpose. It's been there within you all along. And when you're near it, you can almost hear it. It's just like a symphony. Just keep listening, and pretty soon you'll start to figure out your part. Everyone plays a piece, and there are melodies in each one of us. Oh, it's glorious. And so this song is absolutely beautiful. I encourage you to listen to it. The bottom line is each one of us has a part to play. Each one of us has a bridge to build. And even if we don't have the motivation or feel like we have the motivation to go do the things that we know we should do for ourselves alone, then we have an opportunity to at least do it for others and build that bridge and to play that part of an overall symphony, whatever that part is. And this is huge, because this will be the difference between a life wasted and a life well lived, and somebody where at their funeral somebody can say, well, they took and they were a taker and they didn't give much to this world, versus that person elevated everyone around him or her and they left a remarkable legacy. And so this is my little podcast. I'm specifically giving this to you, the craft out there, because I love you and I want what's best for you. I really am hoping and wanting that you make a heart connection with this and make that change if you aren't already making that change. Because the current condition is that we are distracted with comforts and we're wasting our lives with all of these, beautiful things that we have that are distracting. And so my challenge is make a change, do it for the right reasons, get an accountability champion, and really, especially now that it's the first of the year, make some resolutions that you'll actually keep, that will stop wasting your time and start investing in the most important asset that you and I have, which is you and your mind. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.